everyone, it's Crystal. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for being here, and if you are new here, welcome. My name is Crystal. I am your Leo best friend, and I am posting weekly videos on Sunday. 2 years ago, I started on this healing journey, and if you've been watching my videos since the beginning, I mentioned how I moved. I grew up in a small town, and I moved to a bigger city, and in that move, I started noticing things about me, as far as like habits and behavior and certain things like that I started noticing about myself. And then not only that, but there was a lot of things that started coming to me from my childhood. And I mentioned it in the beginning of my videos that with me talking about the steps that I took and with me talking about the journey that I'm on, I wanted to start unfolding little pieces about me and my journey. And the reason that I want to do all of this, guys, is because I know that someone out there can relate to me. And I know that with me talking and with me using my voice, I hope that it gives someone out there the courage or the inspiration to go after searching for their voice. And I'm just going to be honest with you guys. Like, I was going to go into step number 10 for this week, and I started recording, and then somehow, in some reason, like, I started going off on a different topic. And I stopped recording because I'm like, I know where this video wants to go. And I'm very, very big on like messages, and I know that there's a God out there. I know that there's a source. I know that there's something out there that just guides us. And I'm really big on that. And so with me recording that video for step number 10, I started going off on this different roadmap, and I'm like, you know what? Maybe that is the topic that God wants me to talk about this week. And, it's going to take a lot, and it's going to be coming from a very, very vulnerable place. And I know that this can be very, very triggering for some people. So I do want to give a quick trigger warning. And I do want to say that if at any moment you get really anxious or you get angry or just you start feeling any emotion, like go to my Instagram page and look up my link tree and download the feelings tracker so it can help you through this video, or like do some of the things I've told you guys in the past, like grounding, like things that you can see, 4 things that you can feel, 3 things that you hear, 2 things that you smell, and 1 thing that you can taste. And also a very, very big one is the EFT tapping. So I've told you guys, like, you just tap your forehead, tap your chin, under your eyes, your temples. You can do like your chest. There's other areas in your body, like your head, that you can do that with. Like, just don't get triggered. I really truly don't want to trigger anybody with this. I know that there is a reason that I was starting to talk about this, and so I'm just going to dive right in and just start talking about it. So, about 2 weeks ago, I did my little intro for my YouTube, and the way that I wanted to do and that I was going to do with this YouTube channel is to help people find themselves. Say that I was just hanging out, and I don't even know what I was doing, to be honest. I think I was meditating. One of the times, actually, yes, that's what I was doing. I was meditating. And one of the times that I was meditating, a thought came to my head about my voice. And if you know me and you know me from like school and you grew up with me, like, you know that I really didn't talk. And so it might be a shock for a lot of people to even see me on YouTube and talking now. And that's when it came to me of the topic of changing my intro from, if you have noticed, now you know that it used to say find yourself, and I recently changed that to find your voice. And the reason that I put that is because along me taking these steps and along me finding really my purpose and really starting to dig more into, like, I guess what they call it is soul searching. And in searching for my soul and searching for me, I found that the best way that I can put this is that with so much trauma that I had gone through, I literally like dissociated. My like soul was inside of me, but she was like really think of like my soul and then like a bunch of bricks on top of her, like that was me. And so the more that I started unpacking all this stuff is when I really started getting more into my soul searching. And with finding my soul, I found that I was very, very hurt. And in the beginning, I mentioned to you guys that I was going to be talking about my journey and that I was going to be unfolding more of my story. And as promised, I'm going to unfold more of my story. I have mentioned on here that when I started my healing journey, that things from my childhood started coming up. And one of the biggest things that came up from my childhood, and not just my childhood, but in my like teen years as well, was just things that, I used to have these thoughts. And as I was having these thoughts when I was younger, I just brush them off. Like I'm like, I don't even know why I'm thinking that. I don't know why that came to my mind. Like I'm not even going to think about that. When things started coming up for me as I got older, I and I mentioned to you guys, like in the first steps that I took, like changing my habits and like pretty much what I was doing is I was getting myself out of living in stress all the time. Like I was making changes to myself that was getting me to really relax. And because I was doing that, because I allowed that space within myself, I was starting to feel safe. And because I was starting to feel safe within myself, that is when I truly allowed space in my body to hold everything that had started coming up. And what I mean by that is, and again, this is a trigger warning, and if you are in my younger audience and you're younger than 18, then please go get your parent and ask if you can watch this video because it is a lot. And I I'm going to talk about this because it's a topic that I truly feel needs to be talked about. I feel like so many people brush it off, and the reason that it gets brushed off is because a lot of people don't know how to deal with it, or a lot of people don't know how to work through it. And so I am here and I want to tell you guys that the reason that I say and I'm wanting to go deeper into this of helping you find your voice is because I want to reach this certain audience. And that audience that I want to reach is an audience that I can relate to and an audience that can relate to me. And what I mean by that is when I was younger, I was sexually molested. And it's I'm okay with it now. There was a video that I recorded about 3 months ago, maybe longer. There was a video that I recorded, and every time that I would press record, I would start crying. So I'm not completely healed from it. I'm still working through it. It's a work in progress, but I can say that the work I've done to really find myself and heal that part of myself has been huge. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you guys is because I want you guys to know that these steps that I'm taking and these steps that I'm sharing with you guys that I took were more for that deepness of that wound. I had that wound from when I was younger of having been sexually abused. And I was like, should I talk about this? And I told you guys, like, I was recording that video before this, and like something just kept like taking me down that road to talk about this. And it's a lot. Like it can be a lot for some people. And if you're someone that is like me and you're like, I've had those thoughts before, like what if that's me, what if that happened to me, like please don't do that. Like don't overthink, don't allow yourself to go into that space. Like if you are someone that has gone through what I went through when I was younger, please seek professional help. I will talk more along my journey. Like there's only so much I can share. I don't want to make my videos so super long either. So there is only so much that I can share in like a 30-minute video. And so just know, guys, that me, like today, right now, I am okay. I also want to say, like, if you know anything about me, then respect. And I'm gonna put a boundary of like, I don't want you to go and think about this and think about, like, if you know me, I don't want you to go out and like think about, well, who did this to her. Like I'm gonna put like a boundary there and like tell you guys like no. Like the reason that I'm sharing this is because, and I also don't want any pity from anybody, guys. Like I don't want, like, yes, I was a victim and yes, it did happen to me, but that doesn't mean that I want to identify as that. I don't want to be seen as a victim. And I know a lot of people like advocate for like victims, and I get it. Like I don't want to be labeled as that because I am so much more than what happened to me. And because I am so much more than what happened to me, I mean, just things started making sense. When I really figured this out, is things just started making sense of why I was the way that I was. And what I mean by that is I was always super angry. Like I was always so mad. And I was just mad at the person that did this to me. I always felt this shame. I felt this big shame. And the more that I talked to Ken, like my life coach, the more that I realized like that shame wasn't mine. Like I was carrying their shame. And then I always felt guilty. Like there was this always this guilt inside of me. And I never knew why. Like I just felt guilty all the time. And I was like, I'm again, like I was carrying their guilt. And then one of the biggest things that was huge for me in finding this out is I had a lot of fear. And fear, as in always thinking someone was against me, someone was going to hurt me. And the reason that I thought that was because of what I went through. And so I was living in this fear mindset of living in survival because of what happened to me. Like think about it. I was a little girl. Like I didn't know much. And that happening to me, like I don't know. I talk to little Crystal every single day. And I just hope that like little Crystal knows that I absolutely love her and that she is safe now and that we're going to be okay. Like I don't know if you've been through this and you're someone that experienced sexual abuse or any type of abuse, then and it's hard. Like I think one of the biggest things that I had to come in terms with was to realize like yes, you are always thinking that everybody's against you. Like yes, you're always angry. Like, yes, you're carrying shame. Like, yes, you feel guilty. And, there comes a point where you get tired of living like that. And truly, that is where I got to. The point that I got to, that I was just tired of living with someone else's emotions, someone else's guilt, someone else's shame. And not until I was like getting and diving into my emotions was when I was really able to feel and release all those emotions that weren't mine, because they were my abusers. They weren't mine. And you know, it's new, and I'm sorry if this video was like not what you were planning to watch on this Sunday. And I don't know, I feel like there's a reason for everything, and if there's a reason that I had to say this story today and say this part of me, and I believe that everything happens for a reason. So if you are someone that needs to hear this, or you can't seem to relate to anything I'm saying, like, there's a reason that I'm posting all these videos. There's a reason that you're here. There's a reason. Like, start living with reason, start living with purpose. Like, I think one of the biggest things that I've came to learn is that everything that happens to you isn't happening to you. It's happening for you. Everything in your life has a purpose. And if you're going through a hard time right now, like, just know that there's a meaning and there's a purpose behind it. Because at first, when revealing started coming up about what happened to me in my childhood, I was so angry. I was like, why did I go through that? Like, why would God put me through that? Why? Like, why? Like, I just always wondered and I always questioned. And now that I look back at it, I'm just thankful. Like, I'm thankful that, like, it still hurts, and I'm not like, thank you for what I went through, but I'm thankful that I was able to work through that. I'm thankful that I was able to get through that situation. And I will forever and always hold little Crystal in my heart, because she didn't deserve that. And regardless of being thankful for situations, like, I know that little Crystal didn't deserve that. And so, one thing that I want you to realize is that you were a child once. If you're a parent, you have a child right now in your household. So these steps that I'm posting, like, I hope that you're not just taking them for you. I hope that you're taking them and implementing them into your everyday life and teaching someone out there about them, like, if about your emotions. Like, not only do you need to learn about it, but also your child needs to learn how to express their emotions and how to name their emotions. And I promise you guys that it does get easier talking about your emotions and really working through this work, because, as I mentioned, like, it is a lot and it is triggering. And again, I don't want to trigger anybody with me speaking my truth. Yes, I can dive and change my little process, but I guess I can say that this would be step number 10, and step number 10 is to speak your truth. I never knew that me speaking my truth and me speaking of what happened to me was going to take off that much weight off my shoulders. I think many times we're scared of hurting people with our truth. Really, I think at the end of the day, like, you're gonna think yourself. And even if you don't want to tell anybody, like, you don't trust anybody with that information right now, and you don't have a therapist, journal about it. Like, write a journal entry and write a letter to the person that did, if you know who did it to you, then write a letter and just write what you would express or what you would say, or just write your truth down. Like, you don't have to tell anybody. Or if you want to grab your phone and there's like that voice memo app, like, speak it out. Like, speak your truth, guys, because the more that you really use your voice and speak that truth, the more that you will see that you get so much weight off your shoulders. You get so much this sense of relief, like you were holding that for so long, and then the moment that you like let that go and you're like, no, like that did happen to me. I know that that happened to me. And I feel like this has a lot to do with not only girls but boys. Like I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, is that men go through this too. Boys, little boys, like it's just a non-stop thing. And with this video, what I want to say is keep coming back to my videos, because I'm going to dive even deeper now of how I healed. And I know that I keep saying like heal your inner child, but after this, like I know that I need to dive more, and I'm going to dive more into how I specifically healed that part of my inner child, because there's so much out there that we can all heal from. And for me, I want to gift this, and I want to dedicate this YouTube channel and really gift and really express myself, because as I said, little Crystal didn't deserve what happened to her, and because of that I want to gift her the world. And with me doing this, I want to dedicate this YouTube channel to my little self and really use this platform for the voice that she never had. And I hope that this gives you the courage to be able to speak your truth and to be able to really let that part of yourself go. Because the more that we learn to let go, the more that it gets easier. I mean, I'm not saying you have to go and post a video about it. That's just me and my journey that I'm taking. Just talk about it. And if you want to talk about it with me, I would love to hear you out, because I know that if you have been through this, we understand each other on a deeper level. And I don't know, I just want to build a community. And if I can build a community of women or men or whoever wants to join, of like a support group, like we all need it. And so if you guys are out there and just wondering, and I'm going to end this video with that. Step number 10 is to use your voice. I'm going to help you find your voice. So I will end that video there. Thank you guys so much for coming to this video and holding the space for me to be able to talk about this so publicly on YouTube. I don't have a lot of followers, but I hope that one day I'm able to hit an audience again that is really relatable and really, I just really want to start helping people and healing certain parts of themselves. And who am I going on YouTube talking about healing your inner child if I can't fully express who I am and what happened to me? This is a big part of me and the reason that I am who I am today. And so for that, I am forever thankful, and I am thankful for God. And I am truly, truly thankful for you guys being here today. And I'm just going to end on that note, and I'm going to end on a quick prayer, just with saying, thank you, God. I want to send a big hug to little Crystal. I want to send a big hug to your little inner child. And I just want to say that I love you, God. I love you guys so much. If you guys have any questions for me, please send me a message. And I will see you guys on the next. And remember, guys, every single day is a new opportunity to grow. And if you want to continue to find your voice, then come back next week for step number 11, which would have been step number 10. But things happen for a reason. And I feel good about this. And I hope that this helps someone out there that is ready to release this part of themselves. So again, I love you guys. And God bless you all. I love you.